Felt great. I mean, all I can really say is thanks to the guys playing in front of me. They were amazing tonight. Made my job a lot easier. They were battling, a lot of block shots, and I mean the way that we played defensively was superb. So, a lot of credit to the guys.
That first period, one of the most intense periods of the playoffs, just physical. Even though you're not in the physical element, do you sense that as a goalie, just how heightened the intensity is?
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially the way that this building gets. You could just sense the energy. Obviously, there's a lot going on, fighting, a lot of pushing around, a lot of momentum back and forth. So yeah, in moments like that, you just gotta focus your mind and do your job. And I felt like all of us as a team really did that in those types of moments.
What was this like for you, just kind of having to stick with it, right? The wins weren't seeming to come, but you were kind of staying with your process and a pretty confident night tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can really do. Everything in the past happens, and what you can do from there is just learn from it and keep moving forward and, not panic. So, I just got to keep on sticking to my process. And I think that's what we've been doing so well as a team, too, is, not trying to chase after wins or anything like that and just sticking to what we do best.
Some of your nicest, most difficult saves maybe came in that first period. How much does that help you settle in and feel good for the night?
Yeah, it makes you feel really good, obviously. It makes you kind of sense a little bit more confidence, just making those big saves. I think timely, too. It's important. Momentum shifts. It could be a different game. So that's what I'm here for, and I got to keep on doing that.
Did you sense that your team was trying to get in the other team's goaltender's grill there in the first period?
Sorry, were we?
Yes, you're at the other end, and it seemed like Hill was upset on just about every shift.
Yeah, I didn't think we definitely didn't mean to. It wasn't our priority, I mean he did that. Is what it is. I mean, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you gotta push our guys around, but I mean then it gives our fans a chance to kind of go after him. So. I mean, if that's how he wants to go about it, it's fine.
And Kane loves that sort of game.
I mean, that's Kane's game, no?
After the first two games, or the last two games, people wondering what to expect from your team. What did you see from
just putting on our work boots, our hard hats, and just going to work. The way that we've competed over a number of games is, pretty incredible. It's hard to do that, and the way that we've been doing it on a consistent basis just shows a lot of pride in this group.
Personally, Stu, is it tough to block out the outside noise, especially in this town? You live and die with this talking team.
What outside noise?
No?
I have no idea. No clue what's going on.
Stu, if you go back from Game 5 to LA and Game 1 this series and tonight, that's three really dominant performances by your group. You just look at kind of what you're capable of when everybody's focused and going in the same direction.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, honestly. I've had that same thought when you see our guys rolling and playing with that desperation and playing with that fight that we got. We always give ourselves a chance to win.
So was this kind of like the best of everything Evander Kane in this team, or irritating, or how would you kind of describe it?
I mean, to be honest, I'm in my own world and my end, so it's really hard for me to tell. All I know is that he's playing an amazing game so far. He's working, he's fighting for us, he's grinding, he's scoring goals. So, I mean, it's pretty impressive. So, I mean, he's a lot to thank to him.
In regards to your own game, did you feel it was coming though? Did you feel good? Like you made some big saves last game. Did you feel it was about a time for one of these coming?
Yeah, I mean. Again, with the game of hockey, there's so many things that can kind of happen. That's just professional sports, especially in my position. So for me, I mean, I decided to play this position, so it's completely my fault. It's just, for me, being in situations like this, I've been in them many times before. I'm going to be in them again, So can't really tell the future. So it's just, again, like kind of what I was saying to you, Richard, is just sticking to my process and just playing my game and doing my best out there.
When it's not going great, like when you come out of the lineup and the numbers weren't awesome. You've been through this before. Does it leave a mark? Are you at the point where you can just get past that, or do you have to do some look inside yourself a little bit?
You always got to look inside yourself. Situations like this. Numbers are what they are. Numbers don't really matter, especially in playoffs. But the biggest thing is just trying to give your team a chance to win. I mean, if you let in 5 and it's a 5-5 game going in OT, you're giving your team a chance to win. So honestly, it doesn't really bother me. So I'm not. I mean,
Stu,
it's about the wins.
You come off the ice in the room, and all the extra guys are standing there, and the guy that yells the loudest is your partner, Calvin Pickard. Just talk about the relationship you two have and how much you root for each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing ride with him for the last 2 years. Everything that we've gone through, too, just makes you closer, especially as a tandem. Especially him and I, just in general, being in the position that we're in. It's it takes a lot of character to show each other support, even though that maybe the other guy's not in the greatest situation. And seeing that just shows everyone his character, how much he actually cares about me. It's not fake, and same the other way around. There's there's no facade there. It's just two guys battling for each other and always supporting each other.
And I mean, the forwards made it easy on us. We're playing in their zone a lot of that game, and that's always the key, I think, with us.
Jake, you guys came out pretty physical. Was that the plan, or did you just kind of unfold that way? Or?
Yeah, I think that's when we're playing our best hockey. We're coming out banging, and all 4 of our lines, all 3 D pairs can do that, can play that way, and it's probably one of the identities of our team, just getting in the forecheck, making it hard on them, and I think the finishing of the checks tonight was a key to success for sure.
Jake, I know you haven't been here long, but just a thought on Stu and his ability to bounce back. And, he's been taking a lot from the fans around here, but to be able to put a performance like this together.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think he handled that beautifully tonight. We have a ton of confidence in him. He's an unbelievable goaltender, and he was on point tonight. Biggest thing, probably really happy for him. I think he deserves it, and he's a great goalie. We're looking forward to keep that going.
You and Klingberg have had a lot of good results on the ice in these playoffs. What is it about his game that's helping him have success here?
Yeah, just really smooth skater, easy to play with. I think anybody on our D-corps can play with anybody. But Klinger and I have been having some success. It's easy to play with him. I think kind of work off each other pretty well, and at this point we kind of know where each other are on the ice always. So I love playing with him. It's been great.
Jake, you guys used to switching partners lots the last few games, but tonight the 3 pairs kind of stuck together for the most part. Is it a bit easier when you get into a rhythm as a duo?
Yeah, for sure. Some familiarity with everybody, and this is probably the first game that we've done that. But like I said, anybody can play with anybody. But I think all three pairs tonight we're going well, and we're all confident, and guys are playing well. It's nice to see when everybody's going out there.
Could Evander Kane have done anything else tonight?
I love watching Kaner play. Just playing against him all these years, and I know he practices hard, so I can feel it in practice. But he's one of those guys that's on the body, and that's kind of what propels his game. I think a little bit intimidating for the opposing team when that guy's coming down on you, and of course he's got the hands and can finish too. So it's nice having him on our team.
Did he ever irritate you that much when you played against him?
I don't know. I didn't know him as well as I do now, but it makes me chuckle. I think he's a fun guy on and off the ice, but he's a great teammate, and he's definitely working well for us right now.
Jake, what's it been like for you?
What does it do for your team when you're in a situation where you need a big game tonight? It's a very important game, and your team lays down maybe the best game it's played in ages, all-around hockey game. What does that say about a team, I guess, that can bring that game in this moment?
Yeah, I think shows that we have it in us, and obviously it's a huge game. It could have been 2-2 or 3-1, and we got a job to do. It's not done, but definitely a better position than it could have been. So I think that was the mindset. Even when we were up, we kind of kept the pedal to the metal, and just grinded, play the same way like it was 0-0. So I think that's the most important thing. We can kind of forget about what the score is and play our game.
What's this journey been like for you? Coming over from San Jose, is it as fun as you thought it would be?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm proud of where I am right now, and nothing else I want to do than help this team win.
And the steal that led to your first one. Take me through the second goal, though, and just the play right beside the net.
I was more of the same. Heisey made a great play out of the corner and tried to bring it to the net. He just tried to get some position, and in my head to try to get it to that far side of the net. So I thought it was a great play by him, and then just trying to get an ugly one in front.
Evander, tonight's game seemed to kind of blueprint for how you like to play. It was intense. It was the most physical first period for sure, I think, of any playoff game. Kind of easier for you to get into a game like that, or more up when everybody's running around hitting everybody as much as we saw in the first?
Yeah, I think it drags our team into a bit of a fight early. I think we obviously want to have a good start. It gets our crowd involved. It gets everybody feeling good, and from a hockey's perspective, it wears other teams down, and it keeps guys on their toes out there. And I think we got some turnovers off of that. We were able to create some offensive opportunities, and we didn't take our foot off the gas, which was good.
Adam, can you comment on the performance of Stuart Skinner, especially when the game was in the balance on the PK and that sort of thing?
Yeah, he was great. We got all the confidence in the world in him. It was big to see him come back last game after being off for a little bit. I thought he played a great game, and he turned around again and did it tonight. He made huge saves when we needed it. You could see last game, you see the confidence with him is there. Like he was playing the puck, hung on to it for about 10, 15 seconds, and it was great to see him get rewarded with the shutout tonight.
Evander, you spent a lot of time late in the season skating a little bit extra. Just a thought on the two guys that came in the lineup and that you need. You're not just going to be able to play 18 skaters all the way through the playoffs. What'd you think of what you guys saw to Kapanen and Stetch tonight?
Yeah, I thought they were really good. I thought, they've been out for a little bit, and they came in and fit seamlessly in our lineup. I think, Stetch was solid back there, and Cappy with his speed was closing on guys quick, getting on the forecheck, and making some nice plays. So good performance out of both those guys.
Evander, was the goal to get in the grill of Aiden Hill tonight? You were there, lots of players were, and he was getting very upset.
Yeah, I mean, I think we take pride, and we know it's tough to get to Vegas' net. They have two D-men there that just kind of stand by the net the entire time, so it's hard to get inside, and you have to battle to do that. And I don't know if we were purposely trying to get in his head or get to him, but he seemed to be taking some slashing penalties against us, or not penalties, I guess, but some slashes against us. And it's tough to avoid contact when you're getting cross-checked into them. So we want to go there hard and play within the rules and not have just goals disallowed. So that's important.
What car did you drive to the game tonight?
Rolls Royce.
More muscle car game for you though tonight?
Yeah.
Adam, is there anything else you would want to see out of the guy sitting beside you? Seemed like he was kind of in the mix in every kind of capacity that you'd want.
Yeah, I mean, from every standpoint, I think we talked about playing with energy right off the bat, and Kenner gets in there and mixes things up, and other guys are following suit, just shift after shift. So I think for us, you want to play on that line, and we ended up with a few more penalties in the first than them. But I thought we did a good job. Our penalty kill stepped up, did a good job killing those off, and we continued to push that line and play with energy and from start to finish tonight.
Vander, is there something about Vegas that kind of brings something extra out of you? Is there something about them?
Well, I mean, I've played against them lots in the playoffs. They're a good hockey team. I've been on some good hockey teams, obviously, in the playoffs playing against them. And, I've had, back in San Jose, we had a big rivalry. So, that's kind of somehow carried on to Edmonton now. And, they're a tough opponent and they play hard. And, you have to play hard. So that kind of stuff happens.
Evander, I know you have a lot of belief in yourself, and you felt like you could come in and contribute, but 4 goals, multiple assists here, 9 games in after being off for over 10 months. Is this what you envisioned it to be this good and maybe seamless for you to get back in, or have you surprised yourself at how well you've played?
I don't know if I had confidence. I didn't really have any set expectations. Am I surprised? No. But I didn't necessarily have any expectations. But, I thought, feeling good and healthy and able to kind of do what I need to do physically on the ice, I thought I would be able to give myself a better opportunity than I did last year. So that gave me confidence.
Adam, this is it's a Canadian market. It's a tough place to be a goalie. it's a really tough place to be a goalie when you lose your job and, you know, it's not going great. Do you guys get a sense of, you know, what it's like to be Stu Skinner in this market? And are you happy to sort of, you know, see him have a good night like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see him come out of that and just be him. You know, there's pressure. We all face pressure, but to be a number one goalie in a market like this, and you know, there's probably extra pressure. You know, and it comes from all angles, I'm sure. And to see him, you know, struggle and Pix goes in, plays great, and we get on a run, and then, you know, you got to be ready. And he did his job. You know, when he wasn't playing, you could see him in the room every day working. And you know, I'm not in their meetings, but I don't think he changed anything in his game. You know, you just work on what you need to work on to be ready when you need to be ready. And sure enough, comes along an injury, you're right back in there. So again, it's just another guy being plugged right back into the lineup where you can't skip a beat. So you know, I think the mental aspect of being a number one goalie is probably above and beyond any other position, and he does a great job with that.
Sustain, you know, a pretty solid performance.
Yeah, we came out flying, and we weren't sure. Like, it was a difficult decision to take out two good players. Like, they've been playing well, and but we felt that put in two guys that have been just raring to go, and the energy they provided, especially Kapanen with the hits he was making and the skating. I think that was nice for our team to see. And I think everyone realized how important tonight's game was, and I believe everyone was dialed in and really dug in.
Obviously, Paul has a great amount of say in the defense pairings, but Stetcher played the fourth most at even strength in tonight's game, and Paul didn't deviate much away from the pairings the entire night. Just a thought on what you saw out of, you know, Kulak and Bouchard, and then Nurse and Stetcher, and Wallman and Klingberg.
I thought the pairs were really good, and they're rolling them over. And, you know, it's nice. It's easier to play when you have your regular partner. And I think Nurse and Stetch have played a lot of time together. And, you know, with Stetch coming back in the lineup, it was an easier transition for him to come back with his regular partner, a guy that he's played a lot with and feels comfortable with. So I think that helped. And then Kulak's, he's played with everybody, so he can move around. And obviously him and Bush, I thought, had a really good game. And Wally and Claire have been playing really well. And since they were kind of put together in that LA series, they've continued to put together some solid games.
There wasn't a ton of shots against for Stu to deal with, but he had some tough saves early on. Just maybe give us a thought on his night overall, and did you sense that this was coming? Because it had been it seems a frustration.
Stu's an outstanding goalie, and you knew any time that he has a bad game or, you know, a time off, he's always usually come back with a really solid game. And, you know, there's only so many times that he's not going to stand on his head or go a long period of time without having a game like that. So we knew it was coming, and you know, he made some really good saves, especially early on when we needed it. And we had a lead, and we had all those penalty kills in the first period. And not only that, not only did he make all the saves, but I thought he looked very confident doing it.
The bulk of Jack Eichel's 5-on-5 minutes tonight were up against that Draisaitl line that you put together. Can you talk about your thought process constructing that line, you know, potentially for that purpose, and how do you think Leon took that challenge tonight head-to-head against 9?
Well, I thought those three played really well, and talk about, you know, difficult decisions that we had, and, you know, taking out two guys that I think have been playing very well to insert two fresh guys, and then also, you know, game 3, you know, Corey Perry's probably our best forward, and then I bump him down to our fourth line after being the best. But we felt that every line had to kind of bring something, have different components, and wanted just some speed and physicality to play against that top line of theirs. And Leon and Podkolzin and Kapanen had played together during the regular season, and they played really well together. And I don't know, we just had a lot of confidence in Kapanen, just being ready. And we told him before the series started that there'll be a time when we we'll need you. We'll insert you in the game, and he'll. Yeah, and he did not disappoint. So we're very happy with those three. And obviously, you asked about Leon, and Leon's a very proud guy. He wants to be the best guy on the ice, and if he's got a matchup, and not too often, Rocket Richard Trophy winners, Hart Trophy winners, take a challenge of a shutdown role, and his defensive details were really good tonight. He bought into that, and he checked him well, but also he can also score too.
Chris, if you go back, Game 5 against LA, Game 1 this series, and now tonight, 3 of your last 6 games where you really controlled and dominated the game, where you see your team at its best. What is the most common theme from those 3 games that you've seen?
I think just being able to use the entire bench, everybody being involved, and not, we had a little bit of line matching tonight, but I don't think that was probably the first time in all those games that we had that. But I think it's important just being able to use everybody in all situations. And I think for a player, it's easier to get involved in the play or game and just continue on that, rather than, am I going now? Am I sitting here? There's a long stretch that I'm not playing. I think that's much easier to play. And I know Frederick didn't play much in the first. He had the fight, and his line wasn't out there. Well, especially with all the special teams, the power play, and the 3 kills. But besides that, I think everyone contributed.
You look at that first period, and really maybe in the first 50 minutes, just how aggressive it was. You mentioned Kapanen's hits. You had a lot of other big hits from lots of guys. Was that something that was talked about beforehand, or did it just kind of morph and your group felt like, okay, we got to play with more heightened emotion?
I think we always want to have some hits and play that physical style when we can without running and getting out of position. And I just think the guys were dialed in tonight. They knew it was a big game. There was huge disappointment from Game 3 with the way we played and the way it ended. They knew that they had to step it up tonight.
Everybody knows the difference between 2-2 and 3-1 in a series. So what are you thinking as a coach when you see your team play that kind of game with so much on the line?
Well, I've said it to the team several times, and when they play like that, a lot of the times, most of the time, we'll win. And things can always change. You don't know what how the goalies are gonna play, or the luck, the breaks, the refereeing, the officiating, whatever it is. But if we can play like that on a regular basis, most nights we're gonna win, because we feel very confident in our team. We've got a lot of good players, and details are good, like just not cheating the game and working hard, and everyone contributing. We're putting ourselves in a pretty good position to win that night.
Chris, was this kind of exactly what you'd hoped you'd get out of Evander Kane, like this type of game where he's just kind of in the mix in all regards?
Evander's a gamer. He loves it, the big pressure games, and when there's a lot on the line, he just loves the pressure and the level of play. And, just the amount of the physical play and scoring a big goal for us, crashing the net, winning puck battles, he's contributing a lot to our team. So, it's nice having that. And you look at the physicality we've got throughout our lineup. Hyman's been doing a ton of it through these playoffs, and Kane on that Henrique line, and Podkolzin and Kapanen and Frederick there. So it's nice having that element throughout our lineup. But I guess the guy who really leads that charge is Kane.
How would you quantify the difference between his game this postseason, where he's seemingly healthy, compared to last, when we all knew
he's moving, he's skating, his agility, everything's so much better. And then also not only that, but the skill, being able to make plays on the wall, and making just those plays under pressure, because he didn't practice very much, and then your mobility is a little bit laboring. It's difficult to play. This year he's much more healthier. He's making more plays. He's getting up and down the ice a lot better. He can get putting a little more oomph into those hits. So yeah, he's looks like a different player.
Chris, I think you guys had a couple kills late in that first period with the 2-0 lead. What do you think that did for momentum going into that first intermission, not giving up a goal on those power plays?
Well, we've made a lot of adjustments to the penalty kill and just fine-tuning things, and you know, maybe change up personnel a little bit. But I think right now, especially with the team, the way we've been playing and allowing goals on the penalty kill, you know, being able to have those kills with a lead just says, all right, our game's well-rounded right now. All right, so if we do have to take a penalty later on in the game, it's going to come up. Or it's going to come up big and have a kill. You know, I think it's also good for the killers. You know, I think they've been doing a good job, and despite a couple of times doing a good job, and then still when the puck goes in the net, it's still hard for the confidence. But tonight, I think it would be good for the confidence.